let's start with this, Coach. Why now?
After the Dartmouth scrimmage, we didn't have a trainer, and it was heart-wrenching for me as a coach. 13 years, player got hurt, hyperextended his knee, and I just, I got an email from the parent, and it was rightfully so. So at that juncture, the student athlete welfare was more important than anything, and I just felt that the university, that the player's safety will be addressed if I left. If I stayed there, things would have just even gotten worse.
But this, Coach, is the end of an era. I mean, you've had so much success and recent success on a national scale. NCAA tournament, this is less than 2 years ago to this. How did this all unravel?
I think how it really unraveled was slowly, piece by piece. And I could analyze that and go through it. And at the end of the day, we could write a book on it. But I actually am going to choose right now to look at the 12 years as a positive and look at, instead of crying because it ended and it ended the way it did, I'm going to smile because it happened. And the relationships we built over the last 12, 13 years have been really memorable for me.
Coach, how long have you been thinking about this resignation?
I'd say for a couple months, but the straw that made me do it was the Dartmouth scrimmage. No trainer. If you went to Hall High School over here in West Hartford or Concord High School, they wouldn't allow you to play the game without a trainer. And for me, seeing so many different little things happen, I just thought it was better that I step away and that the next person that comes in as the coach, whether it be my old assistant, Tom Devitt, or someone else, that maybe they'll listen, because they clearly weren't listening to me.
I know the Hawks program. I've been able to cover them, though I'm not a sports guy, but I've been able to cover the Hawks program once or twice, 3 times over the years. It's a family atmosphere, Coach. What do you say to your players?
Well, what we talked about is, we started this thing 13 years ago as a neighborhood, and we're going to finish it as a neighborhood. I'll always be there for them. But I thought it was best for me to step away so that they could have a great experience this year. And I really think they can have a great year. I love them, and I told them that today at 2:00. And I got into this business for the student athletes, and I'm leaving for the student athletes.
Do you know who's going to step in as the interim coach?
I do not know.
You had mentioned when we spoke on the phone that you felt bullied. I mean, you played at St. Joe's. You don't get bullied, Coach.
I'm an Irish kid from Delaware County, so at the end of the day, that won't work well if you try to do that to guys like me. So I just think I had to stand up for the student athletes. I had to stand up for their rights. I hired an NCAA attorney to go through all of the little things, and they didn't listen. So it was untenable for me. And at the end of the day, I just couldn't sit around anymore.
You say in your letter that you've seen the university repeatedly undermine the men's basketball program to the point where player safety and well-being has been jeopardized. In your estimation, how long has this been going on?
Well, we could have, to go back to the summertime, we could have had summer workouts, and they denied that. So I would say the estimation is probably the last 6 months. The last 6 months.
What are you going to miss the most?
What I'm going to miss the most is my kids coming to the game after a win in the locker room and them celebrating with me.
Coach, is there anything else you want to add?
Yes, the relationships I've built over the last 12 years in this community, the people in this community, from the Governor Ned Lamont, to the Speaker of the House Matt Ritter, to the firefighters in Hartford, Jason Diaz, the union boss of the fire department, Mario Arcata, the 35-year-old legend firefighter, to the cops, to everybody. This is home. Wherever I go next, I'll always look at this place as home. And I love everybody out there, and thank you for everything for the last 13 years. This place means the world to me.